Let's head to Parliament now, but on a different issue. The governing NPP has officially written to Parliament asking the Speaker, Professor Aaron Michael Quay, to declare the Fomena seat in the Ashanti region vacant. MP for the area, Andrew Amankwa Esiama, who is in Parliament on the ticket of the NPP, filed his nomination to contest this year's election as an independent candidate. But NPP General Secretary John Buedu says the MP ceases to be a member of the party. So what does this mean for the MP? Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Bukugapu joins us with more. What happens next with regards to this issue, Joseph?
And so the Constitution is very categorical. Let me read Article 127 of the Constitution to you, Venice. Well, actually, Article 97(1)(j). It says, a member of Parliament shall vacate his seat in Parliament if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to Parliament to join another party or seeks to remain in Parliament as an independent member. So Article 97(1)(g) of the Constitution is categorical that if you're a member of Parliament and you decide to leave the party on which ticket you came to the House, or you would want to remain an independent candidate, that seat has to be declared vacant. And that has to be done by the Speaker of Parliament. So a number of things could happen. First of all, if the Speaker decides to go with the route of the letter that has been brought to him by the NPP, he will go ahead and read that letter on the floor of the House and then make the point about the need for the seat to be declared vacant. And then they would go through the processes, discuss it, and officially the House would declare that vacant. That's route number one. The second route is for any member, particularly on the side of the party that he's said to have left, to then officially draw the attention of the Speaker on the floor to this. And again, the deliberations will continue. The House will discuss, and then the seat will then officially be declared vacant. So we gather that the said communication has actually come to Parliament. We're waiting for when the Speaker will go ahead and trigger those processes for the seat declared vacant.
Gakpo, we also know that the same Constitution outlines, for example, the number of days for which a by-election can be held in a build-up to an election. So there's a peculiar situation here with regards to this particular case. We are about some 54 days to the elections. Will the party be able to organize a by-election? If the seat is vacant, then it means the people there do not have a representative. How would it work?
So you rightly made the point that this is a very peculiar situation because the Constitution again makes the point that when it comes to by-elections, a by-election can only be done ahead of an election. When we have a situation where the seat becomes vacant more than 6 months to the next election, and we know it's just about 2 months to the next election. So let's just cite an example. What has happened in Fanteman, the MP is dead and the people have no representation, but there will not be a by-election until the next election. So the people will not have a representation until the next election. In that same sphere, when the Fomena seat is declared vacant, a by-election cannot be held now. We would have to wait until the next election. But just as we have the situation in Fanteman, where over the next 2 months, the people will not have a representation in Parliament because the MP has died, if Parliament goes ahead to declare this particular seat vacant, the people of Fomena will not have representation in the House until the next election. So that actually doesn't bar the Speaker from triggering the clause and declaring the seat vacant. They can go ahead and do that. And that depends on the amount of pressure that the majority will be ready and willing to pile on the Speaker in order to get done. So that's solely being left at the discretion of the Speaker. If he decides to trigger the clause, he can go ahead and do that. The fact that we are just 2 months to election doesn't bar him from doing that. And if the majority insists on having the seat being declared vacant, they can push in order to allow for that.
But if the Speaker decides not to and the majority decide not to press on him, then what, we are contravening the law?
Well, to a certain extent, yes, because the law is categorical that once the MP decides to party, then the seat has to be declared vacant. And so, fortunately, unfortunately, a lot of it is being left at the discretion of the Speaker in particular, who would have to take.
Quickly, Joseph, before you go, so what happens to this MP if he is expelled from the House? Does he lose any benefits?
So this will not exactly be an expulsion. It will be a case of the seat being declared vacant, because there won't be a case of him having misconducted himself, leading to the seat being vacant, based on which then he would forfeit all his ex gratia. You know that usually the ex gratia is calculated based on the number of days or months you've served in Parliament, and then a percentage of that is what is calculated over the 4-year period, and then given to you as a lump sum once you are in Parliament. So what that would mean is that after the seat is declared vacant, then the number of months he served in Parliament would not be up to 4 years. So the ex gratia would not be as much as the lump sum that his colleagues will be taking, but he will still get his ex gratia, except that it will not be the expected rate for the 4-year duration he would have served as.
Thank you very much. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo is our parliamentary correspondent, and he's been running us through the procedures the House will have to go through in the case of the Fomena MP who is seeking re-election as an independent candidate.